All right, what's going on, everyone? My name is Sherwin, and today we are in the Cybertruck Studios, and today is a service appointment day. Today we're bringing in the Cybertruck to the service center because of a recall, the Cant Rail Recall. I've done a video of that, man, many months ago, so if you haven't checked it out, check it out. But basically, they need to remove these rails out on the outside and replace them because of the adhesive. Now, we live in California and it doesn't really impact us directly. It's more on the areas where there are like extreme cold weather, like more on the northeast side of the United States. The cold temperatures, what it actually does to the adhesive is it hardens it to a point where the trim pieces, the rails will or possibly could fall off, and even worse, while you're driving it happens and it could hit other vehicles or people, so it can be dangerous. I think being here, I don't know if it's like a required recall, like it's more of a voluntary, don't quote me on that, but we're gonna do it anyway. And we recently took a trip with SoCal EVs to Las Vegas, and the whole plan was we were supposed to have the Cybertruck wrapped before then so that we can unveil it for the Vegas trip. It didn't work out because right afterwards, today, we're going in for service. So if we had gotten it wrapped, then that part would be removed and replaced, and it won't be wrapped. We would have to rewrap it on our own at our cost. So we went ahead and just decided to hold off on the wrap until we get that part situated. So that's what we're doing today. Also on the invoice list is they're going to be cleaning the front camera, not the front like bumper camera, but the front windshield camera. They're going to go ahead and clean it for free. I don't know if that's an actual cost, but yeah, we have had issues where we get notifications on the screen about cleaning the camera, especially like in the morning time when I take my kids to school, and it's hitting the direct sunlight. And I thought that was normal. Maybe it is normal, but they added it on the invoice automatically. I didn't ask them to do it. And it was getting annoying because sometimes it gets triggered and there isn't really any issues. So they're going to go ahead and clean that, but I've seen a few people online posting about it, and they did some DIY videos on how to clean it yourself, because I guess if you bring it in for service and they don't have it on their list or whatever, they may charge. But it's just basically the housing behind the rear view mirror you remove and you clean that part of the windshield. So we'll see what happens. I was gonna add tire rotation. It was like $65. They had it as a suggested service to be added, but I'm like, no. I double checked. Even after the Vegas trip, we are still under 3,000 miles since we changed out the tires. Plus, in our area, America's Tires and many tire shops like those, like Costco and stuff, they're actually free. They're free to rotate your tires. You don't even have to buy the tires there. They're free. So we normally take ours to America's Tires. The one that we go to has their own hockey pucks or jack pucks. So, but I always bring them just in case, but they do have them, and that's where we normally take them, and it's free. So we're gonna opt out on that one and not add it to the service. So let's get going. All right, we have arrived here at Upland, our usual service center, and there's a lot of Cybertrucks here in for service. But yeah, hopefully they can get this done, and hopefully we can get a loaner. But yeah, they sent us a letter for this. Normally it would just be like a notification on the app or something, or I don't know, but they sent us a letter. So we're gonna go in and get it done, and hopefully all goes well. All right, my profile got loaded, at my seat. What's wrong with this profile? Oh man. So we are at, I think this is a 2021. I just looked at the door sticker. Model 3. I don't know what trim level this is. 71,000 miles, and yeah, I don't know what Model 3 this is. Hardware 3, so it's 2021 according to the sticker. But also the door stickers say that this is a Lemon Law vehicle, so they are using buyback vehicles for loaners, it looks like. Whoa, these seats are noisy. But I got it at 36% state of charge, and they weren't gonna give me a loaner for same day service. So just be aware that some service centers are no longer giving loaners. You have to pretty much provide your own. But thankfully, you know, he was kind enough to give it to me as a one-time courtesy. But yeah, let's go and get going. All right, so initial impressions after just driving it out of the service center. I really miss the Model 3. Every time I get into one, I miss it. That's my first Tesla EV. And this is a dual motor, actually. I checked, there is a badge in the back. But it is a little bit noisier, and like interior wise, the seats and stuff. Road noise. I just gotten so spoiled with my Model Y Juniper, the Cybertruck, the Rivian. But I mean, they are all, well, the Model Y is newer, so it's a newer version. But like Cybertruck and Model X, all those other cars are just a higher trim vehicle, so it is kind of expected to have a quieter cabin. But yeah, I enjoy the Model 3, and I would consider getting a used one in the future, maybe just to mess around with. But one thing I don't miss though is it does sit low into the ground, and that's a good and a bad thing. And one of the biggest reasons why I switched to a Model Y was I have back problems, so getting in and out is a little bit of a challenge sometimes. But yeah, and it gave me a red color. I love the red color. So that's a weird thing with the profile. I don't know why the profile, like, it loaded, but I'm just like leaned back a lot. So I created a local profile called me, and I just saved it just so that it doesn't mess with my current profiles. But we do have the white interior, and it's clean enough. Clean enough, not like before. My goodness, before, when I get loaners, it's just really bad condition. So I guess it is improving as far as the conditions of loaner vehicles. But yeah, I think they are getting a little stingy with lending out vehicles. I would have thought the Upland has a lot to give, but they're like, well, it's unfortunate for customers who have multiple days that they have to be in service that they need to reserve that. I understand that, but yeah, before I never had any issues even with same day service and stuff. So they do change their policies from time to time, and I'm just sharing that with you, that make sure it did say in the service appointment and stuff that there is no loaner provided, but I've had that notification before and they've always given me a loaner. So maybe it's just because there's a lot of people in service at the moment. I don't know. There was a good number of Cybertrucks in that service area. But fortunately with ours, I mean, according to the service advisor, it's going to be done at the end of the day, and we'll see what happens. So, but I did get it at 36% state of charge, so I'm going to have to go during lunch to charge it or something like that. But it is free supercharging, and there are many superchargers, supercharging locations, so that's not going to be an issue. It's just more of like, I got to spend time that I didn't anticipate to charge, but not complaining, just telling you how it is. But yeah, already missed the truck, so can't wait to get it back. All right, we had to make a pit stop because we needed to go to 85 degrees. Abby forgot to run an errand real quick. But the good thing about it is we are here. There is a supercharger, and we arrived there at 30% state of charge. We're currently charging at, looks like 89 kilowatt in speed. But let me show you what that sticker looks like. There it is. That's what that sticker looks like for the title to this motor vehicle has been permanently inscribed with notation Lemon Law Buyback. Yes, so this was made in December 2021, long range, red with white interior. All right, so I've driven it more, and I gotta tell you, the suspension in the Model Y Juniper, oh my goodness. I totally forgot how much rougher, at least maybe because the Model 3 is lower to the ground, but it's, I guess back then it was acceptable, but now that I've driven the Juniper and I have the Juniper, like, wow, it's a huge difference. I wonder how the Model 3 refresh feels, the Highland. I know I've driven it for about 30 minutes or so when I did the demo drive, and it did feel pretty good, but it's no comparison to Juniper. Again, Model 3 does sit lower, so you are going to feel a little bit of a difference in suspension, even though it's much improved in Highland probably. But yeah, it's whew. Okay, so we are here back in Upland picking up the Cybertruck. Behind me is the Model 3 loaner, the buyback loaner. Some final thoughts on the Model 3. As usual, I do miss having it. You know, in hardware 3, what I noticed is when you do the turn signals and the camera kicks on, there is a little bit of a lag. I still like driving it. I don't like going in and out of it though. What else is there? Hardware 3 FSDs, pretty nice still. It actually did a pretty good maneuver this morning because someone went into the lane I was getting into behind me, and so it swerved out the way. Plus, there was a motorcycle that was lane splitting, and it actually moved out the way. At first I was like, what's it doing? And the next thing you know, there was a motorcycle that drove by. So I think that's really an FSD feature, not a hardware feature. So it's really smart with FSD, even with hardware 3. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. I like the Model 3, but let's go check out the new Cant Rails. All right, so they replaced the Cant Rails, they replaced the baffles. I actually had to look that up and, you know, like, hey, what does baffle mean? but yeah, and they also cleaned that windshield part right there. Hopefully that's not a damage. I don't know what that is. There's something there. But yeah, new Cant Rails. They also cleaned the windshield. What else is there? That's really it. I asked them about the brake dust in the rear wheels, and they said that was within spec. So, okay, so we're gonna go over the invoice in the next part of this video. So let's get going. Okay, so it's the following morning. I had to calm down a little bit after further inspection. It's just, yeah, it's worse than how it was before. So this is the driver's side, and it bulges out a little bit. See, I did a close-up video, and if you look at that video, like, these are actually, they were lined up well. I don't know if it was perfect, but from the ones that I've seen, the other Cybertrucks I've seen, like, it's one of the better ones. Here is the passenger side, and this is the concern, you know. I don't know. I mean, I guess the good thing is it isn't as sharp as previous versions. It's kind of curved off a little bit in the corners. But yeah, these used to be really sharp. You might be able to tell from this part right here that the corners are a lot more pointier than the new one. I've already messaged them on the app yesterday, and they messaged me this morning because they were closed yesterday. when I picked it up to come by this week, later this week or whatever, for a lead technician to go and check it out and try to make some adjustments, hopefully. But I guess where I'm frustrated at is not that it happened, because we're humans, right? We make mistakes. That's not what bothers me. What bothers me is like whether this part exists, and I don't think it does unless you tell them that nobody inspects the work. There's no one that inspects the work before flagging the vehicle completed, right? Like you would think, well, why should they? Exactly, why shouldn't they? Inspect it before the customer comes and picks it up to really say it is complete. Just because you finished the work, like it ain't, I don't know. It's really frustrating, and this isn't the first time it has happened. It's happened numerous times with the Model X, and it rarely happens with the Model 3 or the Model Y, because when they replace the rear inverter, this truck really has no issues. So, you know, the other thing, I don't know if you noticed as I panned around, they were supposed to clean that front windshield thing. I don't know if it's bad again. Look, it's fogged up. It's fogged up. So I don't know if it made it worse, because before I really didn't notice it, but the system does notice it and it gives me a notification, but it's fogged up. Okay, so we'll just go over the invoice. So the Cant Rail assemblies replaced left hand and right hand assemblies, applied 8 butyl patches. So that was there. The clean forward camera view. So they removed the housing. I mean, I'm assuming because I've seen YouTube videos on how to do it, but they removed the housing behind or where the rear view mirror is connected, and they cleaned the windshield. But as you can see in that previous clip, it's fogging up. So the technician replaced sail baffle via Cant Rail replacement. So I think what the baffles are what's underneath here, that black exoskeleton piece or something, I think. Because I looked it up and I did find an entry in the service manual. So I think it's what's underneath this. So it had to be replaced as well. But correct me if I'm wrong. So they replaced both left hand and right hand sail baffle. At first I was like, what is baffle? Like, you're baffled? So that's the invoice. I usually go over the invoice whenever I do these service videos. But yeah, I think we're gonna end this video, but I'm gonna be bringing it back. I have to find time again for the lead technician to inspect, and you would think that is a process that they do. So I've seen many friends with Cybertrucks that part is pretty bad. It's off. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you've had your Cant Rail replaced, let me know if you had a similar experience. But we'll probably continue this on another video. But thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.